but one game from Week 9 is officially in the books, and there were some big things that happened this week. On Thursday night, we saw the Cardinals almost snap the 49ers' undefeated streak as they lost just 28-25. The Texans in the first game of the day Sunday killed the Jags in a game that was relatively close until the end of the third quarter. Other big moments included the Dolphins getting their first win of the season over the Jets, which of course was the first-year head coach Brian Flores' first win of his career, and the Dolphins' first win since the Miami Miracle against New England last December. Russell Wilson had statistically one of the best games of his career as he threw for nearly 400 yards in an overtime win over the Buccaneers, while receiver Tyler Lockett went for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. There were a lot of big things that happened in Week 9, and that's what we'll discuss in today's video. Before we get started though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first takeaway is the Texans are going to be a very tough out in the playoffs. They held the division rival Jaguars to 3 points Sunday, and star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins had just 48 yards in the game. Quarterback Deshaun Watson threw for just 201 yards as well. The game didn't call for him to take over as we have seen him do so many times, and the Texans defense held Jacksonville to just 3 points, which is their lowest total since Week 17 of last season. If the Texans defense can consistently play at this level even now without defensive end J.J. Watt, they will be a very tough out for teams like New England and Kansas City. The Texans have a Week 10 bye, and their first 3 games coming off of the bye are at Baltimore, home against Indy, and home against New England, so they will definitely be tested in the upcoming weeks. They head into the bye at 6-3 atop the AFC South. The next takeaway is there will be a serious race for the first overall pick. There are currently 3 1-7 teams, a 1-8 team, and an 0-8 team. By far the most surprising out of these is the Falcons, as at the beginning of the season it wouldn't have surprised me if they would have been a wildcard team. I certainly would not have expected this type of start to the season for them. These 5 teams will be competing, if you will, for the number 1 pick, and what they do with this pick depends on the team that gets it. Atlanta would surely take Chase Young out of Ohio State, while the Bengals or Dolphins would most certainly take Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama. As an NFL draft fan, I can't wait to see how this plays out, but this is something to keep an eye on down the stretch. Fan bases at this point, at least logical fan bases, should want their team to lose out because the difference between getting Chase Young and AJ Epinesa is huge. I'd much rather lose in an already meaningless year than get a lesser quality player, and that's no disrespect to Epinesa, it's just Chase Young is that good. He is truly a generational talent. The next takeaway from Week 9 is the Patriots are human and can be beat just like any other NFL team. The New England Patriots got steamrolled and lost by 3 scores, which is something we rarely see from them, and it was their first loss by 17 or more points since Week 10 of last season against the Titans, and since the infamous Chiefs game in 2014 where Bill Belichick answered every question, "We're on to Cincinnati" in the post-game press conference. The Ravens are unlike any other team in the NFL with their playbook and how they schemed their offense, and it showed New England wasn't up to the challenge as they gave up 37 points. Had the Ravens not muffed a punt in the second quarter, the score could have been even uglier, but the once talked about Patriot defense as maybe the best of all time is seemingly over after Sunday night's loss. This was a big game, and the Ravens outscored the Patriots 20-7 in the second half and made Belichick's defense look bad, which almost never happens. The next takeaway from Week 9 is Freddie Kitchens may be one and done in Cleveland. The Browns are now 2-6 and are a long ways away from the preseason expectations they had going into 2019. They have had a tumultuous start to the year, and Freddie Kitchens in my mind was a questionable hire to begin with, and he very well could be one and done in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield as a rookie looked so good as he threw for 27 touchdown passes to just 12 interceptions, and with the addition of Odell Beckham Jr., he looked poised to throw for 30-plus touchdown passes and lead the Browns to a postseason appearance. The Browns are already coming off of a 7-win season, so to get 10 wins and make the next step definitely was not out of the question. Unfortunately, things don't always work out the way they should on paper, and through 8 games, Baker has nearly double the interceptions than touchdowns, as his ratio is just 7-12 midway through the season. I personally am shocked by the results of the Browns this season, and given that they look to be the team of the future, they may cut ties with Freddie after just 1 year. We have seen this before in the NFL, most recently with the Arizona Cardinals and head coach Steve Wilks. The final takeaway from Week 9 is the NFC runs through an NFC West team. The 49ers are 8-0 and the Seahawks are 7-2. Both teams have been great all year, and they square off in Week 10 on Monday night, which is something I am definitely looking forward to as a football fan. We have seen the 49ers kill teams like they did Cleveland 31-3 and the Panthers 51-13, while the Seahawks have looked more beatable and have a few home losses on their record already as they drop games to the Saints and the Ravens. My boy Teddy led the Saints to the win out there, just saying. The Packers lost to the Chargers yesterday, and in my opinion they aren't as good as advertised and won't represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. As of now, I think it'll be an NFC West team, though I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Saints, and we'll get a true idea of how good the 49ers are or how good the Seahawks are when they square off next Monday. I am excited to watch these teams play, and it'll be a checkpoint for both teams and for the nation to judge as well. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Although we lost 26-23 to the Chiefs, Skull Vikes.